Hey guys, so uh, we are going to move on. We're going to talk about some leadership styles, different things like that, and we're going to just kind of finish out the first 9 weeks on this subject. So we are in the last 3 weeks of the 9 weeks. So we're on week 7. Next week will be week 8, and then we'll be on the end of the 9 weeks. So this is just how I kind of want to finish out is these leadership styles, and then the um, week of the last week of the 9 weeks, I'll put out like a study guide for your 9 weeks test. So um, let's I'll close my window and I'll post or I'll tell you about the assignments at the end of this lesson here. Okay. Okay, so leadership, we've kind of talked about this, but just to rehash, is the ability to influence others. It inspires and motivates others to be productive, often has the aim of getting everyone in a group to work toward a common goal. It's people oriented. Okay, and down here you got a little fun fact. Okay, so leadership is very different from management. Management directs and controls others and is task oriented. Okay, leadership influences, management directs and controls. Okay. So if we look at leadership styles, um, are the ways in which people utilize it's the ways that people utilize their leadership position. It can be used independently from one another or together. They are dependent on the personality of the leader, the personality of group members, the task to be accomplished. Another fun fact: leadership styles are often learned through participation in leadership activities. Like we do CDEs and that kind of stuff through FFA. So um, participation in those activities are good for building leadership skills and styles. Okay. So the first style that we're going to talk about is from Kurt Lewin. He's a psychologist who studied leadership styles, um, considered a pioneer of social, organizational, and applied psychology. And he conducted research in 1939 to identify different styles of leadership and their effectiveness. Okay. So his project was to assign 3 groups of children to 3 different adults. Each group of children completed an arts and crafts project. Each of the adults used a different style of leadership. And each group experienced different results based on the style of leadership used. Could you kind of guess that? So what he conducted was some leadership styles, and they consist of authoritarian, participative, and laissez-faire. Okay, so Lewin kind of laid the groundwork for some of the leadership styles that we follow today. And authoritarian leadership is known as autocratic leadership. It requires full authority and control over a group. That leader makes all the decisions and uses little or no input from others, and it relies heavily on the use of policies, procedures, and regulations. Okay, so you may think of it like maybe more like if we're talking in terms of um, country leadership, you could call it like um, kings, monarchs, dictators, that kind of leadership. It's most effective and appropriate for complex projects when employees have low levels of training and skill. The advantages of authoritarian are highly productive when leader is present and allows for quick decision making. But there are disadvantages. One-way communication can cause frustration or resentment among employees, and employees can become dependent on the leader and lose their sense of initiative. Okay, so they don't feel like they accomplish anything and that it all goes towards the leader. Okay, so participative leadership is what is considered most effective and appropriate when the leader needs the team to have ownership of a decision, plan, or goal. So here's what, so it's kind of everybody is together. That's what participative. Everybody's involved, okay, in decisions and whatever else. Advantages: create a positive work environment, allow for creative thinking, reduce office tension and hostility, and motivates employees to find the best solution. So it's again everybody working together, and it's all to try and reduce um, any issues that might occur. Okay, so the disadvantages are decision making can um, take longer because you got everybody and their input, and then group pressure sometimes results in what's called group think. Okay, so everybody's thinking the same thing even though it's not right. Um, and it's when a group's judgment is affected by its members' need to agree. So they may say like, "Oh, we just need to do something," and they choose the wrong thing to do. Okay, so laissez-faire leadership. It's also known as free reign leadership. It involves the leader offering little to no guidance and entrusting the group members to make decisions. Comes from the French term referring to deliberate avoidance of interference. It's also known as delegative leadership. It requires group members to be aware of tasks needing to be completed and act on their own to accomplish tasks. So it's kind of like the leader is just leaving all the work for the group. Okay, it's most effective and appropriate for experienced, educated, and highly skilled employees. So people who can work on their own with little, um, oversight. Um, the advantages include group members having the flexibility they need to be most successful and encourages critical thinking and self motivation. The disadvantages are it poorly defines roles within the group. So somebody can think they are doing one thing and another person will think they're doing the same thing and they will get one thing double accomplished and other things unaccomplished. It can be unproductive if group members are not self motivated and knowledgeable. So Lewin's results found the authoritarian group was less creative than the other groups, which is um, probably pretty accurate. Highly productive with the leader's positive efforts. It became less productive in the leader's absence. It developed discontent when the leader overexerted dominance. The participative group was less productive than the authoritarian group, produced high quality contributions from group members. Members gained satisfaction for making their own decisions. Um, the laissez-faire group was the least productive. It demanded the most out of the leader. It produced little cooperation or unity among group members, and members had little sense of accomplishment. Okay, so let's talk about abdocratic leadership for a minute. It's a form of leadership not studied by Lewin. So he didn't do it. He didn't conduct his research on abdocratic leadership. It occurs in group settings when no one is a leader. There may not be a defined leader, somebody still in charge or responsible for the actions of the group, and it requires group members to complete tasks on their own. So it's similar to laissez-faire. It's most effective and appropriate when decisions need to be made quickly. The advantages include can help identify problems and problem workers in the short term, allows new leaders to emerge, allows the person in charge to focus on administrative tasks. The disadvantages it can result in confusion and a lack of organization. So that's all for this week, guys. Next week we'll talk about traits of a leader. So what I want you guys to do for your assignments this week is I'll have a discussion posted with the video, and then on Wednesday I will post the quiz for this week. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, guys. It just the quiz will follow the what we talked about in the PowerPoint today. Don't forget that there is an FFA meeting on Thursday at 10. I sent out a link to all the FFA members from last year. If you'd like to join FFA but weren't in FFA last year, let me know and I'll send you the link so that you guys can join and watch what we're doing. See what FFA is going to be like this year. I need all of you guys that were in FFA last year to you need to be at this meeting on Thursday. So with that being said, That's all for today, guys. That's all for this week. Make sure you get your assignments done, and we'll talk to you all next week. Bye.